Good evening. It is homecoming at Highland High School, and tonight the Scots take on the Ridgeview Wolfpack in a very important game in the Southeast Yosemite League. I'm Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams. Both teams are 3-4 this year, 0-1 in the Southeast Yosemite League.
Yeah, both teams have not had a chance this year to get a victory on the league, but here in the interconference battle, and they're going to see who's going to come out today with a victory and even their record up.
Highland has one of the top offenses in the league, in the entire area, in fact, as far as passing is concerned. Chad Hitchcock, the #1 passer in the area. Ridgeview likes to do it on the ground.
Yeah, Ridgeview's going to look more attack the ball on the ground, keep the ball in their possession. But they do want to score some points. They happen to be 3-0 when they do score over 20 points this year, so we'll see what happens tonight.
Ridgeview has a pretty good defense. Highland is last in the area. So it's Highland and Ridgeview tonight from Highland High School. It's homecoming on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
I'm Dick Strickland. Welcome to the city.
Motor City. This is where you want to be. Motor City Auto Center has one of the largest selections in California, featuring 5 world-class lines: Lexus, GMC truck, Pontiac, Buick, and Saturn. Visit us today in the city. Motor City, in the heart of the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles. The largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors, where we're sure you'll finish first.
Highland High School comes onto the field as the Scots will take on the Ridgeview Wolfpack tonight on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, the Mark and Brian show, the real show. Two teams with 3-4 records, 0-1 in the Southeast Yosemite League. Highland likes to do it through the air. Chad Hitchcock, the top passer in the area, over 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns this year. Ridgeview likes to utilize the ground game, so you have differing styles tonight.
Yeah, Ridgeview is going to come out in their form of the wing tee, and they're going to really eat up the ball. They have a good ball runner in Powell, who's really their big-time player. You see him go both ways tonight. And then, like I said, going against Highland, who's just going to put the ball in the air and attacks you very well vertically with the passing game.
Remember last year we did this game here at Highland and Ridgeview. Their offense reminded me very much like of Wasco's. Very close-knit offensively. It was hard to tell who had the ball most of the time. They probably run it 75% of the time, and Highland passes the ball 75% of the time. Tyler Smith is the top receiver for Highland on the top of the area. 48 receptions, 934 yards, 10 touchdowns, a 19-yard average. Ball kicked off to Ridgeview. Number 11 the ball across the 35, 40-yard line. And very good field position for the Wolfpack as we start this game tonight between Highland in the northeast and Ridgeview on the other side of the town. That would be Dan Johnson, who's one of the running backs for Ridgeview. Kickoff returner there for the Wolfpack. They have it at their own 41-yard line.
You know, and Ridgeview's made a drastic improvement from last year's team. They're getting the players to believe in their system. And they're also, you can see they're excited. When they warmed up, they were excited. They come on the field very excited. So we'll be interested to see if they can put some points on the board. Like we said earlier, when they score over 20, they're undefeated.
Well, they lost by only 3 points to East High last week. And you said they played BHS very tough for most of the game. There's a ball carry midfield 50. Has a first down or close to it. That'll be Dan Johnson, the guy who took the kickoff. First down in Highland territory at the 47-yard line of the Scotsman.
You know, and once again for the Scotsman, here's a replay right here. We're going to see Jeff coming around the end right here. Just nobody's out there. Cuts it upfield. He's going to put a little straight arm there and picks up the first down.
I don't know if I mentioned Highland is last in the area in defense. Ridgeview is about midway there.
And we talked about playing teams like this who have a lot of ball faking and a lot of things going on in the backfield. You have to get some penetration if you're the Highland Scots defense.
Josh Powell, inside the 40 to the 35. He will have a first down for Ridgeview. Josh Powell, number 5. About 400 yards coming into the game.
And Powell's the player that I was talking about. As you can see, he's a very big and physical runner. Here he comes right now. It's just the same play the other way. Instead of getting outside, he cuts it up right here and then puts his head down on the safety and drags him over for the first down.
He is 6'2", 180 pounds. Number 5 for the Wolfpack. First and 10 in Highland territory at the 35-yard line. Deon Johnson, the ball carrier, he was in motion. And the gain's about 1 or 2 yards up the middle to the 34-yard line of Highland territory. Up front for Ridgeview. Right in, Chris Clark and Chris Reyes will switch back and forth. Number 36, Dan Ponder. Right tackle, number 55, Robbie McCormick. The right guard, number 70, Gabriel Tomato. The center, Eric Hines, number 76. Tim O'Toole, the left tackle, is number 61. And George Rubio, left guard, number 78. I think we saw him pull on an earlier play tonight for the Wolfpack. Second and 8. 10:25 to play in the first. Number 9, the ball carrier inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. That will be Harold Wright. Harold Wright, number 9 for Ridgeview.
You know, it just doesn't matter what back they have in there, whether it's Harold Wright. You see he comes in his first action. He comes in and picks up a good gain of about 5 yards and cuts it upfield and runs over a guy. And so, but these are the downs that you want to put Ridgeview in. You want to be in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, where they might have to think about passing the ball.
Talked about Johnson, 300 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns for Ridgeview. Bollinger has thrown for 4 scores. Inside handoff, number 25. Cuts to about the 20. It'll be another first down for Ridgeview. So they are doing what they'd like to do. Control the ball, keep the ball away from that Highland offense. Number 45, the ball carrier. That would be Dillian Mann. Dillian Mann for Ridgeview.
And right there, you see they add a different wrinkle now. They take the pitch to the back, and then they come underneath and hand it off to 45, and he runs up and gets a first down for the Pack.
Definitely difficult to see who has the ball at Ridgeview offense. Line 25 to play in the first. Wolfpack on the move. Josh Powell cuts up to about the 15. A nice gain of 5 yards for Mr. Powell as they continue to go with the Highland defense. Highland defense consisting of number 31, Derek Smith, number 1, Jordan Busby, number 80, Jacob Thomas. Thomas and Busby, the corners, free safety Smith. Down lineman Chris Toon, number 69, Arnold Lord, number 63, and Epi Santiago, number 74. Side handoff to number 6, barrels his way to about the 5-yard line for the Wolfpack. And they definitely are in business. Nicholas Umholtz. Umholtz for Ridgeview.
You know, in this play now, we see Ridgeview come out with a dive play. So they've shown 3 different plays on this first series. He hit the quick dive, catch Highland a little bit of sleep, and now it's 1st and goal.
He's a junior, 5'11", 185. 1st and goal for the Wolfpack. Inside the Highland 5-yard line. Powell wide right for Ridgeview. First time I've seen them have a receiver split out. Johnson, a ball carrier, tries a spin move and is driven down at the 4-yard line. Driven down at the line of scrimmage by number 74 for Highland. That would be Epi Santiago.
Yeah, and Epi right there just filled the hole, and they did a good job, too, of getting penetration. We'll see right here, you see the lineman, defensive lineman fire off and hold everybody up. Good foot on the fullback, and then there goes Epi coming through and knocking him down.
Ken Hedlund, number 25, doing a great job for Highland, kind of holding up the play somewhat. 2nd and goal for Ridgeview from inside the 5. Powell in motion. Inside handoff, and maybe it goes about a yard or 2. Here's a late flag coming from the right side. Seemed like it was after the play.
Yeah, the flag did come in a little late. It'd be interesting to see what kind of call they're going to call on this.
Ridgeview's goal is to keep the ball away from that Highland high-power offense tonight. Of course, Highland can score very quickly. So different philosophies and different ways to do it. But when Ridgeview does score points in their games, they have a tendency to win. Highland, a very good offensive team, but they've had some problems defensively.
And I think that's what Ridgeview going to come out to do tonight. And they got to just be prepared to go for a shooter if they need to. But the one thing they're going to be able to do is they can control the number of possessions. They can keep the ball and keep the clock rolling. Highland will not have that many opportunities if they don't turn the ball over.
It is homecoming at Highland High School. And we'll have a second and goal from the 9 for Ridgeview when play resumes. Grant Bollinger, the quarterback for Ridgeview, 4 touchdowns, 361 yards, 23 of 65, so not a good percentage for him passing this year.
But he is important in that offense because a lot of times you'll see him pitching. He cuts up, he's an extra blocker, so you don't see him be a tough quarterback here at Ridgeview because you're going to have to lead it up and hit somebody on those blocks.
Now, Ron Venters played QB for Ridgeview last year, and he's now at BHS. Primarily playing defense, but he's a backup quarterback, I believe. So play will resume. Second and goal for the Wolfpack at the Highland 9. Foul wide right. Ridgeview in their version of a wing T. 7:30 to play. Foul ball. Bad exchange between the center and quarterback Bollinger. Ridgeview recovers the baseball. They lose it down 3rd and goal from the 10.
Yeah, and that's important for them because they're a team that not only can they lose possession, they can't afford to lose a play because they don't pass the ball that well, or consistent, we should say. But they do have the ability to run and move the ball. So on this play, 3rd down, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a pop pass to a tight end off the play action in the backfield.
They've gained about 1,360 yards this year, the Wolfpack. Almost 1,000 on the ground, 364 through the air. 3rd and goal for the Wolfpack. Another ball fumbled in the backfield. I believe the Scotsmen have it. As the quarterback was trying to haul the ball to number 9 for Ridgeview. That would be Harold Wright. Definitely was not a good exchange.
No, we'll see it right here. He was just late with getting the ball to Harold right there and lost control of it, and that's 2 mishandles that he's had, so he's going to really concentrate in this game because they cannot afford to give Highland the ball and not score any points.
It's amazing they had a very good series going until back-to-back poor exchanges. Pass over the middle incomplete, and here comes the flag.
Late flag, and you had Harold right out there playing man-to-man with a bump, aggressive corner. And they're calling the
Number
pass.
23, the intended receiver, Tyler Smith. He is about 6'3", and Chad Hitchcock, the quarterback, is 6'4".
You know, and right there they call it on Hill right on that play, but that's going to be a big assignment. We can see it coming in. You know, from our view, it looks like a good play, but we didn't see what happened earlier before the ball came in there. You know, that's a tough call as a defensive back to take when you're playing a guy on the receiver and you make a play for the ball that close.
They're calling number 9, Harold Wright of Ridgeview. Hitchcock to throw, rolls out, throws it down the right sideline. Incomplete, kind of for Smith. Looked like it was almost in his hands and then maybe knocked away at the last moment, or possibly. He just missed it.
Yeah, and Harold right here is guarding him. As we'll see right there, just puts it in the left hand at the last minute and distracts the receiver. And actually, Harold had a really good coverage right there. He's right in the hip pocket. Really, if he turned around even earlier, he might have had an interception. But when you're covering Smith, you got to know the ball's going to be coming your way. So as a corner, you got to be prepared for that challenge.
Mike Colbert's number 10, one of the running backs for Highland, single back. He had a big game last week. He has 300 yards rushing this year. He has the ball, stays on his feet, great balance. Gets up to about the 34-yard line. He has an 8.2 average, 3 touchdowns this year. Jesse Rivera and Jordan Busby also in the backfield for Highland. Rivera number 5, Busby number 1. Hitchcock, the quarterback, number 11. Talked about Tyler Smith, number 23.
And here's Cole right here as he slips through, keeps his balance, doesn't make a move right there. Good solid tackle. Picks up about 6 yards right there. You know, and he's going to be the key for Highland. If he can get they can get the running game off, it can loosen up some pressure against the pass.
As Colbert again has the first down across the 40 to about the 42. A very quick, explosive back at 1st and 10 for the Scotsman.
You see Powell come up from the safety position and make a hit and put Colbert down. But when you get that running game going like that, you have to take some of your concentration against the pass, which you're preparing for all week, to be attacking that passing offense. So if they can run the ball like that, it's going to really put a lot of strain on this defense tonight.
1st and 10 for the Scotsman as we move right to left across your TV dial. Colbert takes a handoff, gets up to about the 45-yard line, gain of maybe 2 yards. With 5:20 to play here in the first quarter, no score between the Wolfpack and the Scotsman. Ridgeview had a fine drive going, and then after that penalty against them, had a couple of bad exchanges and gave the ball back to Highland. And then when you get inside the 10-yard line, you really have to score at least 3 points, if not 7.
You know, even if you get inside 20, you get inside 20, you get in that red zone, you got to put some points on the board, like you said, 3 or 7, but you have to come up with something. You can't come up with a turnover against a team that you might have to get into a scoring battle against.
Hitchcock play action. Flicks a lateral pass back to number 5. Head and dropped after gain about a yard. Nice defense by Ridgeview. Jesse Rivera. That was a lateral. He threw the pass back to him, so he had to catch the ball.
Yes, he did. And right there, they were looking for Smith again, but the defense did a good job of forcing him inside, taking that away. And then Harold Wright came up from the safety and really put a nice tackle on the sideline on the running back. Harold
Wright, John Spall number 5, some of the deep men for Ridgeview, along with either Dylan Mann or Seth Masarinas. Stephen Nellis, inside linebacker 23, Matt Estrada. Number 10, inside linebacker Chris Reyes, number 34. At 3rd and 6 for Highland. Hitchcock over the middle, the pass complete to number 25. Is that Headland first down for the Scotsman. The receivers have good size. Headland's about 6'2", Smith 6'3". And they can go from here for the ball.
Yeah, right here we're going to see it. There's a quick 3-step drop, gets rid of the ball here on his back foot. And Headland just goes up and catches the ball. Nice catch, and he's tackled, but now he can pick up a first down.
29 receptions for him this year, 447 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 15 yards a catch. So they go to Tyler Smith and Headland. Colbert hitting the backfield, spins away, 35, fumbles the ball. Do the Wolfpack have it, or do the Scotsmen?
No, it's going to retain the Scots. You see the official right there with 2 fingers up for 2nd down. But that's Powell again coming from that safety. You see right there, he causes a big play. He's a big playmaker for them. As we'll see him come through. As Colbert's going to fight through the hole. He just kind of sneaks through.
Yeah.
And runs through Johnson's tackle. And then you're going to see Powell come up right there, knock the ball loose, and have a lineman come down and jump on the ball. Way to be alert.
Good has a play by one of the Highland linemen. 2nd and short for Highland. Hitchcock looking right. Flips it deep. Tyler Smith has it. Touchdown, Scotsman.
And they're going to get a penalty right there. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Looks like they've been to the movies and seen not Remember the Titans, but Any Given Sunday.
Right.
And they pulled a move from the Sharks right there, I guess.
Well, they don't let the pros celebrate much after a touchdown. The thing that they don't like the officials is something that's choreographed beforehand.
Well, I think when you start doing that you get out of the spirit of the game of celebrating a natural touchdown. But he did it, and they're going to walk off 15 yards, and there'll be a long PAT attempt.
Now, did it appear to you that Tyler Smith was interfered with on that pass play? Caught the ball anyway.
Yeah, he had a little contact, but it's really a size mismatch there. And they went to it 2 times in a row to complete 2 big pass plays.
And he's a PAT kicker for Highland. Long enough, it's good. That's a very long PAT. So Tyler Smith has a touchdown reception and a PAT for the Highland Scotsman. And Hitchcock does a great job of flipping the ball high for his 2 receivers, Headland and Tyler Smith. Allows them to use their size advantage on the DBs.
Well, he does a good job of getting rid of the ball. You'll see right here, he takes 1, 2, 3 steps, and just puts it up. He knows he has a mismatch. He's just going to put it up on the outside out there. So even with the contact, the ball's on the outside. And Smith did a good job of holding his position, which is something we haven't seen many receivers do. He holds his position, the ball comes outside, he releases, catches it, touchdown. And right here, we'll see him throw up his hand grenade and close his ears for to explode. And that got him 15 yards for a penalty, but he still made the field goal. PAT, I'm sorry.
You know, the guy covering him, Seferino Mascarenas, is 5'6", and he's 6'3".
Yeah, with that mismatch inside, they're going to be able to do that. He's going to have to jam them off the line and stun them early, or play off and let his safety come over, or if he's going to play up what they're doing, the safety's going to have to come over and give him help and try to do what John Lynch does a lot of weekends, just make a big hit or come over and pick it. But the Ridgeview front line's going to have to get more pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, he's not even getting any hurries. I mean, he has time to just kind of take a couple steps back and just throw it up. So they're going to have to get some pressure somehow.
Well, that Hitchcock to Smith duo have teamed up quite a few times this year. And after that turnover against Ridgeview, Highland goes down and scores. Clover has some fine running plays, which got him going. Then the passing of Chad Hitchcock to Headland and also to Tyler Smith. They actually made it look rather easy.
Yeah, and they've been doing it all year long, so you got to expect that they're gonna make some completions. But what you want to do is you don't want to give up the big completions. Anytime, at any level, you play a team that can pass the ball real well, you just want to kind of suffocate the passing game, not let it consume you by getting deep, but kind of keep it under wraps and keep it contained, and hopefully you can force them to lose their composure because they're used to making the big plays, and if they start panicking or trying to make something extra happen, you make an interception or get a turnover.
Well, Highland strikes first 7-0 Scotsman. Kind of a long onside kick. Ridgeview will have very good field position to about the 49-yard line. So twice tonight, Ridgeview has begun drives in very good field position.
Yeah, so they're going to take advantage on this one, you know, because that's like a 14-point switch right there. You're on about the 3-yard line. You end up walking back, get no points. They score 7, and you don't get yours. So they're going to have to come down right now. Keep the composure. It's only 7-0 right now. Do what you do. Keep running your plays, and then let your athletes make some plays as well.
Bollinger, quarterback for Ridgeview in their second series, down 7-0. Pitch back to Johnson. Here comes the flag, and he goes down at the 49-yard line. Number 31 with the tackle for the Scotsman. That'll be Derek Smith, holding against Ridgeview.
See, and this is what we talk about. They can't afford the holdings because they don't pass the ball well enough to make up for those kind of plays. They have to play pretty much a mistake-free, penalty-free ball game and continue to grind the clock out, move the ball, and put some points on the board.
There's nothing wrong with grinding the clock out when a game's tied or you're ahead, but when you're down, it kind of defeats its purpose.
Yeah, but when you're only down 7 points, and we'll see right here, I'm trying to see what they're going to call the holding. They might call it right there because his hand's outside the player's shoulder pad. But you have the holding right there, and then so now you're looking at 1st and 20, and it's not the kind of down that you want to be in this offense.
Jacob Thomas on the tackle. Now we're on the ball carried to the 40-yard line, driven down. Now credit given to Derek Smith. So Ridgeview running wide to no avail against the Highland Scotsman defense on that particular play. 2nd and long for the Wolfpack at their own 40-yard line.
And see, and that's what penetration does to that offense. Once you get some penetration, it really disrupts the flow of that offense. And it gets very hard if you get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. It's hard to move the ball against it because once you get the penetration, it disrupts all your play action and really makes you kind of abort a lot of the plays that you were going to use.
2nd and 20 for the Wolfpack. Right, wide left for Ridgeview. Powell in motion. Bollinger looking to the left. The pass complete to Powell at the 41. Slips the tackle up to about the 47-yard line. They'll be 12 yards shy of the first down at 3rd and 12 for the Wolfpack in their own territory.
You know, and right here you can see just a quick one step back. You float the ball to Powell. It's a safe pass play because, I mean, unless the guy just guesses, you're not going to intercept it. And you get a 8-yard, 9-yard gain. And that's a play I like to see them use more in their regular offense because it's a safe pass. It's almost like it's a toss, a long toss.
Derek Smith is already on the tackle for Highland. 3rd and 12 for Ridgeview. Bollinger rolling to his right. Lost a long downfield, incomplete. Threw it into a crowd. Harold Wright was down there, along with number 36, Dan Ponder, and number 34, Chris Reyes. 3 receivers, 3 defenders.
You know, and there was a receiver open early, but he was not out of his role yet to be able to open up and throw it, and he had a little pressure and unloaded, and it was just short.
Well, forward to play in the first quarter, Highland 7, Ridgeview nothing. And Wolfpack will be punting it away. Line of scrimmage at their own 48-yard line. Phil Richardson, the head coach of Ridgeview. Dan Willis, the head man of Highland. Short punt, kind of floats. Helen with a fair catch at his own 24-yard line. Punt by number 19, Jeremy McGill of Ridgeview. Under a minute to play here in the first. Highland 7, Ridgeview nothing. Highland, their traditional green, white, and black. Ridgeview purple and gold. Both teams 3 and 4 coming in overall, and 0-1 of the Southeast Seminole League. Ridgeview has played BHS already, and Highland has yet to play the Drillers. Flood the right side, pass over middle complete. Number 1 is the first down for Highland. And that will be Jordan Busby. Jordan Busby, number 1 for the reception for the Scotsman.
And the other thing that's very difficult with the Scotsman's offense, you can see early, a lot of different people touch the ball in that passing game, so it's not just passing the ball to one person you can just go shut off. And here he is going to hit the slant to Busby right there, and then we'll see Powell come up from the safety spot with a pretty sure tackler and puts him down.
Early in the season, they were going exclusively to Tyler Smith. The option by Hitchcock. And he might have the first down for Highland. The big guy took off and gained the first down, I think, or maybe just short of it for the Scotsman across the 45-yard line. He's 6'4", about 180 pounds. Chad Hitchcock. Second and short, 2.5 yard.
And here's Hitchcock as he comes up now. He's already faked the pitch, and he gets upended right there by Powell, and he's short 1 yard of the first down.
After 1, Highland 7, Ridgeview nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
The all-new X96.5 plays in today's hottest music. Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5. You'll have to excuse the Johnsons. They got a great deal on a car at Golden State Motors and can't seem to contain their excitement. They were treated to great customer care from low-pressure salespeople, making it much easier to take advantage of Golden State Motors' everyday low prices. For a deal so good you'll want to dance, come to Golden State Motors. We're driven to see you drive home happy.
We begin the second quarter of action from Highland High School. It is homecoming for the Scotsmen. They lead 7-0. Pass over the middle complete to Colbert out of the backfield. And he has a first down in Ridgeview territory at the 44-yard line. Number 10, Mike Colbert, a big force for the Highland High offense.
Yeah, and Highland's just spreading the offense out now, and they're just picking the Ridgeview defense apart.
Don't you like it?
And there's no pressure. You know, I like the way they're doing it. They're mixing the short game with the deeper game. And that's what we talked about, that we like to see. If you're going to pass the ball, not just exclusively bomb like you see the Drillers do, and not just, just short passes, but they're doing a good job of mixing it up.
Hello, my left. Ball against the middle, number 5. Stays on its feet to the 30-yard line. 25, finally dragged down at the Ridgeview 19-yard line. Jesse Rivera. About a 23-yard run by Rivera.
Yeah,
They're utilizing all types of plays in this game.
They are, and everything seems to be working right now. So, often according to this is happening, I mean, you're having a field day now because you're feeling like I can call almost my whole playbook is opening up to me right now, which is rare.
Well, as you know, they used Colbert quite a bit last week, and he had a big game as far as carrying the ball for Highland. Early in the year, they were passing exclusively to Tyler Smith, who involved more people in the offense. Highland wide left. Hitchcock. Rivera hitting the backfield, stays on his feet, and goes down at the 20-yard line. About 4 or 5 Wolfpack in on the tackle.
You know, the defensive line and linebackers for Ridgeview right now are going to have to really shore up their tackles. You're seeing these backs slip through a lot of tackles. We saw Colbert bust through the line on one. You know, we're not talking about really big backs busting through the line either. You know, where they're just powering the ball. These guys are just determined to run. They're going to be just as determined to stop them.
High formation for the Scotsman. Play action. So Hitchcock pass it or throw it. Cuts inside the 20-yard line. Breaks a tackle. Down to about the 7. And here comes the flag. Hitchcock, a big guy, breaking tackles. The Highland High quarterback.
That's going to come back because of the clip. Right here, Hitchcock's going to roll out. He's forced to cut up underneath because of some pressure on the outside. But right here, we're going to see some more. There's no wrapping up, just body shots, and that's why he's continuing to run the way they're doing. Nobody's grabbing and holding. Even if you get drugged for a couple of yards, at least if you hold on, the other guys can come in and they can make the play and put a guy down.
So for Highland, second and long, 2nd and 15. Colbert, gain of about 2 yards. Nice tackle by number 23 for the Wolfpack. That'll be Steve Ornelas for Ridgeview. This year, giving up about 1,400 yards on the ground, 704 through the air for 2,076 yards and 159 points.
Mark, that's how your linebackers come fill the hole up. Right there, he filled up. He came up, read the play, and he wrapped up. He put the man down. That's what they have to do when they do run the ball. But now they're going to go empty backfield again and open up, see what they can do with the passing game.
Well, they flow that left side. Colbert in slot left. Hitchcock fires it over the middle. It is almost picked off. Had a penalty in the offensive backfield, and then a penalty in the defensive backfield.
And
both areas.
Backfield, but if they call it on pound, after that ball's tipped, you can hit the receiver. So if they're calling that on the safety, that's a bad call. If they're calling safety, we'll find out.
Holding against the offense. And pass interference against Ridgeview, offsetting penalties. Play over.
And here we have the pass play right here. We'll see the ball come up. You know, the defensive player has the right to go for the ball. That's one right there where you don't see him knocking the man down either. That's a questionable call, but it's a judgment call, and he made a judgment on that.
Can't take away the aggressiveness of the DBs. Highland floods the left side. 3 receivers. Hitchcock to throw, looking for Colbert out of the backfield. Complete 25 to the 20, cuts back, and down at the 17-yard line. Ridgeview did a great job containing that play. Josh Powell over there, number 5 for the Wolfpack, and Harold Wright.
Here it is. You're going to see Hitchcock just move his feet a little bit, avoids the rush, gets the ball to Colbert, and Colbert's out here. Tries to get as many yards as he can, and right there, good to almost lost the ball on the tackle.
Schnellenberg, number 71, George Rubio, 78, Tim O'Toole, number 61, and Isaac Jaime, number 15, James Salas, 44, the down lineman for Ridgeview. A field goal attempt for Tyler Smith. This will be a 35-yarder. Long enough. It is good. Tyler Smith has accounted for all 10 of Highland's points tonight. A PAT, a field goal, and a touchdown reception.
And he has a very strong leg, so if Ridgeview able to put some points on the board and this game is close, he could be a decision maker in this game with his leg.
Well, Ridgeview did a good job keeping Highland out of the end zone, but the Wisconsin lead at 10-0 with 8:41 to play in the first half. Scotsmen have controlled this game from the outset. Ridgeview had an excellent opening drive and a bogged down inside the Highland 5-yard line.
Yeah, they only had 2 offensive series so far, and the first one, they drove it all the way down from about the 35-yard line into the 5-yard line, lost it on the fumble, you know, and then the next one they came at a penalty on the first play, put them in a situation they're not really going to be very competent in a 1st and 20. Very few teams around here will be able to, but
except for Highland.
You know, Highland or BHS are probably 2 of the few teams that can get a 1st and 20 and still have a possibility, a serious possibility of being able to pick up a first down or even more.
Well, Ridgeview can chew up that clock, but the problem with them is scoring. And if you have the ball for 6 or 7 minutes and you don't put up any points on the boards, it's not going to be a good situation for you playing a team like Highland that can put the points on the board. Need to do something on this drive. They muffle a kickoff and fall on it at the 25-yard line. Chris Reyes was fumbling the ball for Ridgeview number 34, and a couple of other Wolfpack conversions on the ball with him. Remember the first couple of times Ridgeview had a ball, they had very good field position close to midfield.
Well, they fielded those kind of kicks both times and were able to take it upfield and get some positive yards. That time, they muffed it, but they all did a good job. You saw them, they covered the players up, they made sure that they kept possession of the ball.
And they're out there on the 25-yard line. Down 10-0 to the Scotsman at Highland High School homecoming. There's Powell. Almost the inside trap, a gain of about 4 yards for Josh, number 5. So it goes both ways for the Wolfpack. But you think that he might be a defensive player in college?
You know, he really has a lot of potential offenses as well. You know, he's not really showcasing the offense to show his true offensive abilities. I would see him more as a receiver, very good jumping ability. But he has the potential and size to be a legitimate safety at the next level.
Have to keep those grades up and work hard. Powell again, timeout line, powers his way for the first down, more to the 40-yard line. A 10-yard run for Josh Powell. Give credit to the offensive line in front of him.
And you can also see his strength, where he's just a very strong young man. He just decides, I'm going to carry a couple of guys and pick up this first down. Now, he's doing a double that's very hard to do, is be a running player and then come back and play safety. You run a lot of safety. He's asked to make a lot of tackles against the run and a pass. So that double that he does going both ways is a little bit different than the guy playing a true receiver and corner double.
Potter McCormick, Pomelo, Hines, O'Toole, Rubio up front for the Wolfpack. Look at him follow his blocker, is up to about the 47-yard line. Number 9, Harold Wright.
You know, you can try to see how Ridgeview kind of feeds off, and they have one good player. They're able to string them together in the same way. You see Harold Wright right here following his line, and he's hit, but he still drives the guy about 4 or 5 yards. So he gets a lot of yardage after contact.
Out for the Wolfpack, 2nd and short. In their own territory. At the 47. Daniel Johnson across midfield to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. We are on the visitor side here at Highland High School, so the Wolfpack cheerleaders are in front of us. Highland on the opposite side. 1st and 10 for Ridgeview in Highland territory.
Here it is. It's the fake to right this time, and it's back with Johnson underneath. And he follows his line, and again, they're getting hit, but they're dragging these guys 3 or 4 yards for extra yards.
Grant Bollinger, the QB for Ridgeview. 6:45 to play in the second quarter. Josh Powell again. Flex to the outside, cuts in, 40-yard line, 37 and more. Once again, the tackle made by Jordan Busby of Highland, but not before. Ridgeview picked up another first down, and a Highland player is hurt on the field.
And here you see Powell just follows his quarterback, makes a nice cut move right there, and again drags the guy a few more yards and picks up close to first down.
Well, most DBs can't arm tackle him. I guess they're calling it 2nd and short, 2nd and less than a yard for Ridgeview. They spot the ball at the Highland 38-yard line.
And this is reminiscent of Ridgeview's first drive that we saw earlier, where they really had it going. They hit a couple coming outside or off tackle, and then they switched it up, hit a dive play, and they kept it really mixed up, which kept that Highland defense guessing where the ball's going to go and how to attack it. When Highland had success in that second series, it was from them attacking across the line and getting that penetration, disrupting the offense.
Brian, this is the second time we have done a game at Highland High School, and noticing improvements over last year. Remember, they were able to get a lot of sponsorship money for the stands here and for the lights at Highland High School. Now we have a brand new concession stand. We have a new press box, which we are standing on top tonight. Last year we had to be on that lift, and you and I didn't like it. Beautiful tennis courts to the left of us. And the facilities are really improved here. If you'd like a copy of tonight's game or any other local program produced by Time Warner Cable, you can give us a call at 322-1941, 322-1941. Call during normal or regular business hours at 322-1941. It is homecoming for the Scotsmen. They have really made this into a beautiful facility here in Northeast Bakersfield. Took many years and a lot of time and effort by numerous volunteers. Headed right to the right side, runs backwards and loses big time, about 7 yards for Ridgeview. Highland did a great job stringing it out.
Not only stringing it out, but they did, I just alluded to, they got penetration on the defense. You're going to see right here, we can't really see it, but you'll see 2 or 3 guys. They're 4 or 5 yards back in the backfield. If that happens, we're going to disrupt this offense totally.
Tim Elms, number 52, was in the Ridgeview backfield for Highland, making a stop. Excellent play by him. 3rd and long for Ridgeview. They will call it 3rd and 7, and timeout Wolfpack. So they had 2nd and less than a half yard, or less than a yard. They run wide and lose about 6.
You know, and again, when you get that penetration, it's going to be very tough. Wright really had nowhere to run. Once he got the ball, they were already out there waiting for him. Like you said, you had a 2nd and short. You know, a lot of plays. I don't know if I took the chance on going wide like that with 2nd and short, especially when you had some success with that quick dive hit. You know, maybe just tuck it back up and just power the 1st down, because you don't want to be in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 because you don't pass the ball.
Well, being conservative like I am, you're down 10-0, 2nd and short. I just get the 1st down. Keep the chains moving. You've had a good drive going, and you know, but that's why they're coaching. We're up here. But I would like to go with the dive play. I think you have a couple plays to get a 1st down. They gamble there. They lose about 6, and now you have 3rd and long, which is not what they like.
Yeah, this right now, you know, you get 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 for Ridgeview is going to be a tough down for them to get, because they really don't have a passing attack. But you have to be afraid of the passing attack.
3rd down, 3rd and 7 for Ridgeview. Pitch back, Josh Powell stays on his feet, powers his way, and he's close to the 1st down. And they might have it. It depends on the spot of the ball.
Yeah. And it looks like the officials are making a 4th down call.
Well, the Ridgeview linemen were calling it a 1st down, but it is 4th and short for Ridgeview.
And right here again, you can see Powell, he gets hit once there and just continues to fight for yardage. And you know, maybe they just feel when you have the luxury of an athlete like that, you can take a chance, and if it doesn't work, maybe he can pick it up, which he almost did.
Quarterback Bollinger leading the charge for Ridgeview. 4th and about a half yard for the Wolfpack. Pitch back, Powell has the 1st down as he dives forward to about the 37-yard line. And that play has worked very effectively for the Wolfpack on this drive.
And that's the player who didn't run the dive. I would like to have seen on that 2nd and short.
Right.
And here he is right here. Powell and he slips a little bit, but he still has enough awareness to get down and picks up the 1st down.
So he's done a good job blocking when he's run to the left, and he has the ability to power for more yards and possibly break it. Line up on the right side. Powell, 1st and 10 for Ridgeview. Powell again, inside trap to about the 34-yard line. Running very well right to left on this drive, the Ridgeview Wolfpack. They're down 10-0, 4:35 to play in the 1st half.
And they're off the line. You got to give them some credit, too. They're firing off that ball on those inside tackle runs. When they've gone outside the last few times, they've allowed some penetration. So I would like to see Ridgeview just keep pounding and make Highland stop you. You know, they didn't stop you on the first series when you played that way either. Just make them stop you.
They stopped themselves. 2nd and 7 for Ridgeview. Pitch back, Daniel Johnson. Hit after a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Running the opposite way. Number 11 for Ridgeview.
You know, when it's so tightly packed the way they have it, it's very hard to get the penetration inside, you know, but when you start stringing out and taking a play a little bit longer to develop by coming around, you're going to open up that penetration. And I like to see him keep smashing the ball right now and just see if one of these guys can bust through him and pick up 8 or 10 yards like they have a couple times tonight.
Nicholas Umholtz in a backfill for Ridgeview. Johnson in motion. Fumbled snap. Bollinger to throw. Lost it high down the right sidelines. Is it caught? Reception. Josh Powell. Great catch.
Yeah.
First down.
And that's what I was talking about. If we talk about whether you're playing college, that's why I would say he'd be a good receiver right here. Bobble snap. Has a good awareness. Stays calm. Back foot, throws it up. You know, and we're going to see Powell just be an athlete. He's probably our best athlete on the field that we're going to watch tonight.
Wow.
He goes up and snatches it and picks up a big play for the Pack.
Beautiful reception.
But you can see that he can be a good receiver because of his athletic ability.
Nice line up wide left. First down for Ridgeview. Bollinger to throw, looking for Powell. Offset high to the left sideline. Tipped away at the last moment by number 1 for Highland, Jordan Busby. Almost went through the hands of Powell.
Yeah, right there, Powell went through his hand.
Just tipped.
Just tipped away. But that's a situation, if he was a receiver at the next level, or you would see him, once you're in the end zone like that, you'll just see him just stop and go up and get it, because there's no need to run, you're in the end zone. And to try to get a pass interference call, just go up and cradle it and come down. Wayne Corbett actually is one of the best at doing that. You'll see him just kind of stop, and he goes up and gets it.
He is a very aggressive receiver, isn't he? Inside handoff to Powell to about the 7-yard line. Third down. Ridgeview has to get to the 3-yard line for a first down.
And then you see Harold Wright. I mean, you can't tell which one has the ball because they all run similar. Powell and Wright really run a lot, so they look similar. They run the ball tight inside, and they're fast, and they run hard.
Wright is 5'10", 165. Powell a little bit taller. Third down, 3rd and 6 for Ridgeview. Number 45, the ball carry to about the 5, driven back. He will be shy of the first down. 45 is Dylan Mann for Ridgeview. Wright exits. Powell back in there, and timeout Ridgeview. 4th down and about 3 for the Wolfpack at the Highland 5-yard line.
Yeah, they're looking at a 4th and 3 now. I don't know how good their field goal kicker is, but this will be a situation. It's 10-0. You need to get some points on the board. I would like to put the field goal unit on and put the ball through the uprights and let the defense hold for a minute 58. If you can get the ball back, fine. If not, go into the half only down 7.
Talking about the Highland offense, generating about 2,400 yards coming into the ball game. Defensively, they had allowed 1,367 yards on the ground, over 1,100 yards through the air, and almost 2,500 yards overall. And they rank last in the area defensively. So teams have been able to move the ball on them.
The other thing you got to remember, too, when you're talking about a passing team, especially one that they've had some quick strikes as well this year, they're going to play a lot of defensive plays because they're going to score fast or they're going to go 3 and out. So your defense is going to have to, they're going to be on the field a lot. As you see with the Rams defense, that defense is on the field a lot because the team scores so much. So, you know.
And they score very quickly.
And they score so quickly, so you're not getting a lot of rest on defense. Because early in the year, this team was scoring very fast.
4th and 3 for Ridgeview at the Highland 5-yard line. Johnson, a ball carrying the pitch. Into the end zone, touchdown, Wolfpack. Great blocking on the right side by Ridgeview.
And right there, they go back to their basic move, play that's been working all game, all this drive. Just turn and give it to the back as he goes inside the tackles and picks up a touchdown. And that's a gutsy call by Coach Richardson, too, right there. You're down 10-0. 4th and 3, if they stop you, it could be a blow to defeat the psyche of your team, but instead they power it in, call timeout, and they get the touchdown, only down 4 points right now.
Yeah, the key for Ridgeview is that they scored in that drive. PAT attempts. Line drive kick, it is up, it's good. By number 2, Ceferino, Mascarenas for Ridgeview. Good leg, 10-7 Highland. 1:52 to play in the first half, and we have a ball game.
Here's a touchdown play right here. Had a little offsides on the defense as well, but the quarterback turns up, everybody turns up, and he just follows the blockers, Johnson, and goes in the end zone, basically touched by one man.
Almost looked like Highland reacted very slowly on defense.
Yeah, I thought they were a little offsides too. I saw a guy kind of get a good jump, but they didn't call it.
Well, all of them were moving forward or left to right, and the play went left to right.
They've had a lot of success tonight on that little play right there. It's been very rewarding for them. You know, again, I talked about earlier, the Scott offense, as explosive as it is, you don't have opportunities that often when a team can grind out the clock like Ridgeview be able to do on 3 drives.
Line drive, kicked away from Colbert. Picks it up, fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line. Runs to the left, up to the 10, and drove down to the 14-yard line. Excellent aggressiveness by the special teams of Ridgeview.
Yeah, and right there, the special teams have done their part to try to get into the half. Now the defense do their part. Right now, what you don't want to see the defense do is give up a big play.
Robert Sherman, number 33 for Ridgeview, and on the tackle. And Highland has the ball thrown on the 15-yard line.
And you see Colbert kind of mishandle the kick right there. He does a good job picking the ball up and getting some positive yards. He got the ball close to the 20-yard line right there with that little run back.
So number 50 on the tackle for Ridgeview. Fumble in the backfield, and the quarterback is able to pick it up.
That's an incomplete pass. It's a shovel pass.
I think it was Isaac Jaime also on that tackle and kickoff for Ridgeview.
Yeah. Yeah, right there you just see a shovel pass, and that's just like a little pitch forward to a back. It's pretty much a harmless play unless the defensive lineman busted through and picked it off. But
worked very well for John Elway in Denver.
Yeah, it's just an incomplete pass. If he drops it, you don't have to worry about recovering the ball if it's on the ground. 2nd
and 10 for Highland. 3 receivers wide to the left. Helen wide right. Hitchcock, quick over the middle. Ball pops in the air, incomplete. It was trying to hit Colbert coming out of the backfield. Ridgeview was very close to an INT.
Yeah, they were right there. We'll see a quick pop to Colbert, who really didn't have his head ready. The ball pops up, and if it hung in there a little bit longer, Powell would have had an interception with some room to run, too.
That's why they do those tip drills. Powell at safety for Ridgeview. 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for Highland. Inside handle to Rivera, and he has stopped after a gain of 2 or 3 yards. So a very good defensive effort by Ridgeview. Timeout. They want the ball back. 1:28 on the clock here in the first half. 10-7 Highland.
And, you know, that's a good play. Now the defense has done their part. The defense comes out, 3 and out. They get a timeout. As we'll see right here, this is going to be just a straightforward handoff, off tackle. Playing it conservative. If he picks up the first down, good. If he doesn't, we punt the ball. You know, in Ridgeview, you're kicking to a guy in Powell that can make a play if he gets a good punt and something to return. So
Matt Estrada, inside linebacker for Ridgeview, making that tackle. So Chris Clark, Travis Schnellenberg, George Rubio, Tim O'Toole, and Rajit Rall. Some of the guys rotating up front for the Wolfpack. They're in the ball game, down 10-7, and should have very good field position. And time to score here in the 2nd quarter. A couple guys standing at midfield. Kick is off the side of the foot, yes.
Yeah, they'll have a real good field position. I don't know where they're going to walk the ball up to, but they should be going close to that 35-yard line.
Jacob Thomas did not have one of his better punts, and they will down it deep in Highland territory.
You know, but people don't, at home might not be realizing that's what happens. You have a good punt return person. People are afraid to kick the ball off because he's dangerous. You get those kind of shanks off the right of the foot, and it ends up being like a 15, 16-yard return.
And Ridgeview has the ball at the Highland 35-yard line. Only down by 3. The Wolfpack had a great drive. Their defense held. Short punt. And they're in business once again. First, that other touchdown set up by a great reception by Josh Powell. Bollinger throws it out to Powell. Nice cut, 30-yard line, 25, inside the 20.
You know, and you see Ridgeview opened up a little bit, put the 2 slots out there. They took right in motion. He's going to throw a receiver screen right here. Powell's going to get it. He has his blocker set up right there, and then he just does the rest with running and picks up a first down, but gets the ball into, you know, where now they're in field goal range if they can get a few more yards.
They're really utilizing the athletic abilities of Josh Powell in this ball game.
Well, you know, I guess in the opening, he's their man, he's their horse. They're going to ride him, and he's going to just take them. And however many wins they're going to get, they're going to be on his back with the help of his teammates. He's not playing by himself by no means, but he is a special player that we've been forced to see this year again, and he's one of those kind of players this year.
Now he's lined up in the slot right for Ridgeview. 2nd and 10, 106 to play. He's in motion. Bollinger will count. Looking to the left. Plenty of time, lost it towards the end zone. Incomplete. He had his hands on it. Covered by Jordan Busby of Highland. Powell had a chance at a touchdown reception.
Yeah, that was it right there. That's when he has to just go up and take it. You know, he has to, almost like he's rebounding, which is a good rebounder in basketball. He has to go right here. You'll see the ball coming in. He has to go up and just take it away. He can't let the man do that to him right there.
They had inside position.
Yeah, that was a good defensive play, but he has to be a little more aggressive and just go up and snatch it away. Same way he made that grab earlier when it got down to the 12-yard line.
Man, one of the receivers wide left for Ridgeview. So Powell motion, 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for the Wolfpack. Bollinger throws it incomplete, intended for man. Has 3 receivers over there. Just simply unloaded it. Ridgeview has been going to the air a little bit more frequently here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, on that play, they only had a minute and something left, and you can't afford without any timeouts to just run the ball at the clock ran out. So they were forced pretty much to put the ball in the air, and they had a couple of wrinkles, and they had to get 2 good shots. One good shot of getting a touchdown. So that was really a good job of offense on that one. They just didn't pull off the execution.
Mascarena's trying a field. The line drives it no good. That was about a 37-yard effort. And we kicked it very much soccer style. So the score remains the same. Highland 10, Ridgeview 7. 53.3 seconds left here in the first half.
You know, and Ridgeview has had a chance to put up 2 touchdowns. Powell just lost that one, and earlier when they were on the 3-yard line, so they've had their opportunities. You know, right now, though, there's still a lot of time with this offense to score. So if you're Ridgeview, you can't get complacent on defense and let them make a big play on you.
Hitchcock and company. Colbert on the backfield, dragged down at about the 27-yard line. Clock running, now a timeout. Probably Highland.
And we're also starting to see, too, the Ridgeview linebackers tackle a lot better on the running backs than we saw in that first series.
Homecoming for Wisconsin lead by 3 over Ridgeview at Highland High School. As you see some of the Ridgeview coaches. Both teams 3 and 4 coming in, 0 and 1 in the Southeast Yosemite League. Looks like we're going to have a big halftime show tonight. If you would like a copy of tonight's game or any other local program produced by Time Warner Cable, give us a call during regular business hours at 322-1941. Dial up 322-1941. We would love to hear from you. Second down, 2nd and 8 for Highland.
2nd and 7 for the Skyline. 43 seconds remaining. Ball's at the 23-yard line.
It's on the right side. Get the ball to Colbert off the left. And thrown down as it gets across the 25-yard line.
Ornalis again.
Steve Ornalis, yes.
And we're starting to see him really play a good game from the linebacker position. He's coming up now. He's wrapping up, and he's pulling the backs down to the ground.
Kind of took the momentum away from Highland a little bit here in the 2nd quarter. As the Scotsmans have another timeout. 20.3 seconds left in the second quarter. A 10-7 game in favor of Highland at home. Tyler Smith has accounted for all their points. A TD reception, a PAT, and a field goal. Number 23 for the Scotsman. Highland has been used as a receiver. I think also Busby. Colbert has run a little bit. David Hitchcock, the quarterback. Third down, 3rd and 3 for Highland. And the ball thrown 27, 28-yard line.
20 seconds remaining the first half.
Ridgeview would like to get the ball back before the second quarter expires. Highland, two receivers, sweet side. Hitchcock to throw, sets up. Throws it on the left sidelines for Headland. He's got it. First down for Highland. Right in front of the defenders, timeout Scotsman. They're at the Ridgeview 36-yard line.
And right here, Hitchcock can go back, and he just has way too much time. When the quarterback can go and sit back and look to the right and come back to the left, that's way too much time. And right there, the safety's over there just to make the play and knock the ball away from Hudlin.
He does a real good job of keeping himself in front of the defender.
You know, right there, the safety kind of went for the interception. It's a judgment calling you safety, but he swiped at it and just couldn't pull it away. It's really a great catch by Hudlin. You got to give him some credit for going up and attacking the ball.
Remember Rob Headland here at Highland, who later played a couple of years at Bakersfield College. 13 seconds left in the first half. Highland at the Ridgeview 35-yard line. Smith's going to try a field goal. This would be about a 54-yard attempt from the 44-yard line. Headland to hold. Tyler Smith trying, I guess you would call a 53-yarder. It is down. The kick, is it far enough? Just a little bit short. But it was straight. No good. 7.3 seconds left in the first half, and Ridgeview will take over.
And he has,
nice try.
It looked good for a while, so it came down a little bit short, but 53-yard kick is a long way to be kicked, long kick for a young man.
Well, he had great follow through. Good effort. We've been blessed with some fine field goal kickers in this area in recent memory. Bollinger, a QB for Ridgeview. He will take a knee. That will be it for the first half. It is Highland 10, Ridgeview 7. And you're watching the Prep Football Game of the Week right here on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
Check out the savings. Check out the selection. At Golden State Motors, we haven't reached our goal until you drive away with the deal of the millennium.
From Golden State Motors, the #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, trucks, and SUVs with new arrivals daily.
We'll slam the competition.
Corner of Golden State and M. Golden State Motors.
The all-new X96.5 blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
The score at halftime from Highland High School, Wisconsin 10, Ridgeview 7. Both teams 3 and 4 coming into the game, 0-1 of the Southeast U Seminole League. Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams. A very tight game so far. Ridgeview likes to run the ball, Highland likes to throw it, but the Ridgeview defense has come on very strong in the second quarter and had a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, they've had a great opportunity after holding Highland after their score. Josh Powell couldn't come down with the big touchdown reception in the end zone, and they missed the field goal to tie it up. But what we're seeing, though, is we're seeing the Ridgeview offense take up so much time on the clock that Highland's offense does not have enough opportunities to come out and be as explosive as they usually are.
Come on, get into a flow, in other words.
Yeah.
That is the Highland High Scotsman Band performing. It is homecoming for Highland tonight, and you're watching it on Channel 31, digital cable 106.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles. The largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors, where we're sure you'll finish first.
The all-new X96.5 plays in today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
It is halftime at Highland High School with Wisconsin leading Ridgeview 10-7. A homecoming for Highland, a lot of activity, a lot of floats. A good football game in the first two quarters.
Yeah, both defenses have really asserted themselves. One got a turnover, and one's just suffocated a passing attack that really has been very prolific this year.
We're going to see the first touchdown scored by Highland tonight. It was a reception by Tyler Smith off a pass from Chad Hitchcock. And Tyler counted for all the points for Highland this evening.
And right here, it's just a straightforward three-step drop. He throws off his back foot, kind of leaning back, and throws it up to a big target. And he does a good job of holding the defender off with a small defender and then goes in for the touchdown.
Tyler Smith had a PAT and tried a 53-yard field goal attempt for Highland. It was just short. Josh Powell, instrumental player for Ridgeview tonight, both offensively and defensively, comes up with a great catch to help set up their first score. And he's number 5. They use him out of the backfield as a wide receiver. He plays defense, and he is quite an athlete for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, he's a very good athlete, and better than that, he's a really good kid. I had an opportunity to meet him last year when he was doing basketball, spent some time with him, and he really is what high school sports is all about, that kind of kid.
Well, we have a touchdown scored by Daniel Johnson for Ridgeview to pull them within 3 points of Highland this ball game, 10-7.
Yeah, Coach Richardson and the staff really had a gutsy call. It was 4th and 3. They went for it, powered the ball behind Johnson, and scored the touchdown, and they're only down 3 points now.
I think the key for Ridgeview in this game tonight is the fact they have kept the ball away from Highland's high-powered offense.
Yeah, Ridgeview only miscue came on when they mishandled the snap and they turned it over. But they've kept the ball in their possession. They've grounded the clock, and Highland's offense only had a chance to come on the field about 4 times.
There we go, a touchdown by the Wolfpack.
And we'll see the quarterback leading up, and Johnson just follows the lineman, the quarterback, and goes in for 6.
You would think as easy as Highland scored their first touchdown, that they would have maybe 2 or 3 by this point, but they only have 10 points. And they lead Ridgeview 10-7 here at halftime from Highland High School. On the high school football game of the week on CNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles. The largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors, where we're sure you'll finish first.
The all-new X96.5 blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
A lot of people having a good time tonight from Highland High School. The Scotsman lead Ridgeview 10-7 at halftime. It is homecoming for Highland on a very brisk, cool Friday evening. With Brian Adams and yours truly, Mark Heffernan. Hitchcock heading the backfield, throws it under duress, incomplete. Chad Hitchcock, number 11, the quarterback for Highland. The pressure put on by Chris Clark, number 3 of Ridgeview.
Yeah, and Chris Clark gets the pressure puts the pressure on Hitchcock right there. That's the first time we've seen Hitchcock under a little duress where he's had to rush a throw.
Okay, for Highland, 2nd and 10. They receive a second half kickoff from the Wolfpack. Colbert blasts up the middle, gains about 3 or 4 yards.
You see Ornelas there, he just sits in the hole from that linebacker position and puts the Colbert on the ground right there.
They will call 3rd and a long 6 for Highlands at their own 39-yard line. They flood the left side of Colbert, slot left. Headland, Rivera, and Busby. Tyler Smith, wide right. Hitchcock to throw, 2-step drop, puts it out to Tyler Smith. Up in the air, incomplete. I think it should have that one. Right through his hands. Punting time for Highland.
Yeah, right there, they're going to isolate Smith and try to get him for pick up a first down and high throw, but at his height, you know, it's one you hope he can come down with. But right there, Hitchcock just kind of throws it up. Floats a little high on him, but it just gets through his hands. And there's a little hello, I'm here.
Punting time for the Scotsman.
Back deep for Ridgeview to the right side, Powell.
Foul number 5. Deep for Ridgeview, along with Dylan Mann. From the punt line drive comes to Powell. He bobbles it and falls on it at the 15-yard line. The ball kicked slightly away from him. Did a great job of following it.
Yeah, he's able to get on top of it, but right there, you want to try to let that ball hit the ground right there. Because when it hits the ground, it can just kind of bounce into you real quick like that ball did and get away from you. But he was fortunate that he recovered it. You know, and now Ridgeview's offense comes back, and I mean, it's just they threw that same methodical, plugging in between tackles and grind the clock out and put some points on the board. It could put some pressure on this Highland team tonight.
I didn't think he aggressively pursued that ball when it was punted to him. That's what happens sometimes. It's like a fumble up the middle at the 15, 16-yard line.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of start you want your offense to have. You'll see right here, just didn't take care of the ball when it came up to him. And again, Highland is not, I mean, Ridgeview does not want that kind of start on the offense because that puts them in behind the 8 ball, using basically 2 plays to get about 10 yards. After your defense comes out and stuffs the Highland Scotsman.
Grant Bollinger, the quarterback for Ridgeview. Second down. Powell hit hard, driven back. So Highland Scotsman defense coming out strong here in the third quarter of a 10-7 ball game. Lower scoring than I thought it would be. Santiago making the tackle for Highland. Epi Santiago. As the balloons are flying away from us. Call it 3rd and 10 for Ridgeview. Bollinger to throw. Lost it high in the air, complete. Number 34. Gone after a gain of 5 or 6 yards. Punting time for Ridgeview. Number 34 is Chris Reyes for the Wolfpack.
Right here, they just play action, put the ball into the flats, good safe pass, and a good one-on-one tackle right there by Jacob Thomas.
Jacob Thomas, yes, number 80. He's had a few tonight. Smith and Helen back deep for Highland at midfield. Jeremy McGill punting for Ridgeview. Line drives it, hits a Highland player, picked up by Headland, and it goes out of bounds at the Ridgeview 48-yard line. Heads up play by Headland, number 25.
Yeah, that's a head up play by him because that could have been a big disaster for the Scotsman right there.
That was another short punt by McGill. Didn't have any lift to it at all. For Highland 1st and 10, the Ridgeview 48-yard line.
You know, I'd say the Scouts have to really go out in there, and I think they need to be a little more aggressive with their game and attack this Ridgeview defense.
Colbert off the right side, breaking tackles, and to about the 40-yard line. Gain of 7 yards by Colbert. He is very quick out of the backfield. Kind of hides behind the offensive lineman.
Yeah, he doesn't. Right, he just hits the hole very hard and just continues to drive. You see Powell come in and put the pile down, but that's the aggressiveness we saw them having that one drive when they scored. They were very aggressive with their hard-hitting run plays, and they passed the ball aggressively. They were hitting them short and long.
He's 5'7", 150 pounds, but drives those legs. Second down. Rivera hit a backfield and dropped. Tim O'Toole, number 61. Well, a stop for Ridgeview. Great penetration by Tim. He was on the backfield very quickly. 8:07 playing the third. Highland 10, Ridgeview 7. They're going to call 3rd and 2 for the Scotsman at the Ridgeview 40-yard line. Helen wide left. Tyler Smith. Flanker wide right. Colbert, initial hit hard, drives forward. Second, third effort. And he might have a first down. He does for Highland.
Yeah, he gets the first down on his effort, but also that's when good tacklers, you see guys on whatever level they are, they wrap. They just don't come in and just throw a body shot. We'll see right there. You'll see the 2 forearms come out. If you hit them and hold them up, you might have held them for the fourth down, but instead you come in for a blow-up shot. He bounces off. He picks up the first down.
Bounce off the attempt to tackle Matt Estrada. Out of reverse, here comes Tyler Smith. Cuts inside to the 30 and driven down. It looked like he had a chance to gain more yards on that run. Ridgeview closed very quickly.
Yeah, and again, when they have Wright and Powell, safeties, now Powell coming up, sometimes Wright will invert, they do a good job with their speed to come up from the backfield, and that's what you're supposed to do. He's supposed to shut the run down when it comes out like that and put them on the ground.
2nd and 4 for Ridgeview, so I say for Highland, at Ridgeview territory at 31. Lateral pass to Rivera, breaks to the outside to the 30. And driven down. Excellent team defense by Ridgeview. Initial man there was Chris Reyes, number 34 for the Wolfpack. The whistle had blown.
Right here, he's going to flare it out to the backfield right here. And this is a good example of tackling. Reyes breaks down and he grabs the man, forms him up, and then the rest of the team comes through and looks like the ball was loose. Should have been Ridgeview ball, but officials don't catch all the calls.
Trout Schnellenberg, number 71, conversion on the tackle for the Wolfpack. Third down, 3rd and 3 for Highland. Colbert has a first down, busts up the middle to about the 27-yard line. Another quick opener by Colbert. First down for the Scots.
Right here, just give it to the dive, man. That's Colbert right there. And again, he hits that hole quick and runs through, and then once again he meets Mr. Powell.
Powell with the final tackle for Ridgeview. Hedlund wide left. Tyler Smith wide right for the Scotsman. 1st and 10. Rivera, nice opening off the right side, banged down inside the 15-yard line. So Highland being a little successful on the ground this drive.
Yeah, and you know, one thing they have is they have them back that are really hitting the holes hard. As you can see right there, there's good, hard, tough running, and they're hitting those holes. When the back hits a hole like that, it's very difficult to stop if he has any kind of daylight at all.
Rivera had a 24-yard run early in the ball game. Steve Rivera, number 5. Playing tailback in that eye, and Colbert at fullback. The play virtually goes nowhere. Highland more and more on their ground game in this drive than they normally would.
The one thing that Highland is going to have the opportunity to do, because people are so wary of the passing game, there will be space for them to run because people will spread out against them. So if they can establish a legitimate running game to keep people honest, it's going to release the tension off the passing game and allow it to be effective.
Now they have 2 receivers to each side. 4:21 to play. Quarterback keeper towards the end zone. Chad Hitchcock. The ground caused a fumble. That's what the officials are saying. 1st and goal for the Scotsman. The quarterback keeper by Chad Hitchcock.
And right here, you're going to see there's only 4 down linemen. There's nobody in there to make a play. You have the center hit a block on the linebacker, the only guy in the middle because you're spread out. And that's what I mean about being air for some running game. They just, on that play, use the quarterback as opposed to a running back.
Stroud and Clark finally brought him down. They almost leaned over the plane. 1st and goal for Highlands at the Ridgeview 1-yard line. Timeout, Ridgeview. Wolfpack. We're going to talk about it. Down 10-7.
And, you know, they're going to try to put a goal line stance on here with pretty much 1st and goal from the 2. And it put the defense, you know, the offense really in a tough predicament. If Highland scores here, they'll put a lot of pressure on their offense to move the ball and put points on the board.
Bill Richardson at Ridgeview is assisted by Mike Cooper, Steve Tucker, Jay Durant, Kevin Bede, and Brian Durkin. And for the Highland Scotsmen, their head coach is Danny Willis. He's assisted by Wayne Peacock and B.B. Carrasco. B.B. Carrasco. Okay, 1st and goal. At 4:04 to play in the 3rd. Scotsmen on the move. A beautiful evening in Northeast Bakersfield. Homecoming for Highland High School. Hitchcock calling signals. Ball given to Colbert. He's to the goal line. I guess he'll be just shy once again.
Less than a yard.
2nd down, about a half yard for the Highland Scotsman.
This is a play for me. If I had a 6'4" quarterback, I'm just going to let him get it and push in.
Why not? Gain about 10 or 12 yards in a quarterback keeper. Take the ball behind that offensive line. Hitchcock keeps, jumps to the air, touchdown, Highland High. Takes a ball from Williams to center. Gets over the plane. Highland up by 9 points over Ridgeview, 16-7. Here in the latter stages of the third quarter. Well, nice drive by the Scotsman. But they're most prevalent gaining yards via the ground. Going against their norm. Tyler Smith with PAT. Line drives it. It is good.
You got to give Coach Willis and his staff some credit. They're just taking what the defense is giving them. They're not trying to force the passing issue. They're saying, okay, you're going to take away our pass. You're going to do some things, and we see the quarterback sneak there. You're going to take away our passing game with your defense. Okay, now we have some room to run. Let's run the ball. Now, if you try to go stop the running game and say, okay, we're going to change things up to stop the run, they will pass the ball again on you, and they can really open this game up if that happens.
Here's the TV again. Hitchcock. Up in the air he goes.
You know, there's not much really the defense can do on that. With his size advantage, with only about a few inches to go. As soon as he jumps over, he's over the goal line, so it's a touchdown. You know, I mean, you just don't want to put the defense in a situation where they have to go 4 down or any kind of goal line stance, but with only 2 yards or a yard to go.
And Tyler Smith will be kicking off for Highland. As they lead now by 10 points, 17-7 over Ridgeview. Well, Highland kick it deep. And will line drive it. Smith. Line drives it. Past man through the end zone. That'll be 1st and 10 for Ridgeview at their own 20-yard line, down by 10 points to Highland. At 3:21 to play here in the third. Both teams at 3 and 4 coming in, 0-1 in the Southeast Assembly League. Well, Wolfpack need to put together a good drive here and put some points on the board. Highland has gone into somewhat of a ball control offense tonight.
Well, I think, you know, like I said, they're being dictated that, and they're just being a smart ball club and saying, okay, take away the pass, we'll just run the ball, and they're up 10 points, you know, and against a team that really hasn't had a lot of potential to come back on you when you get down like that.
Powell in motion for Ridgeview. Bollinger looking left. Fires it out to Powell, complete. Hit hard by Busby, driven out of bounds. But they never brought Josh Powell down.
You know, I mean, and even Ridgeview's passing game is controlled. You see a lot of short passes right here. He's going to run a quick out from motion. He's out in the flat, cuts up, good secure catch, and gets close to the first down.
Well, I think you would agree with me that you want to get the ball in the hands of number 5 if you're Ridgeview.
You know, you got Powell, and again, Wright has the ability to make some plays with his speed and running.
His man to the outside. Hit hard to the 30-yard line, driven down to 31. Looks to be a first down for Ridgeview. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack at their own 31-yard line.
Here it is, and they just go back to this play. This time they got outside. The blockers did not allow the penetration like we've seen earlier, and they were able to pick up a first down.
2:55 on the clock here in the third. 17-7 Scotsman over the Wolfpack. Hand off to Johnson. Hit hard, driven out of bounds. In front of the Ridgeview bench.
Pushed out of bounds near the 32-yard line, 33.
Charles Wells, 28 over there for Highlands. Along with 31, Derek Smith.
There's Johnson, and once again, Thomas comes up from that cornerback position and does a good job of making a nice tackle. Stand the bigger man up and then letting his team come and they drive him out of bounds for a short gain.
Second down 8 for Ridgeview at their own 34. Man wide left. Bollinger, a QB for the Wolfpack. Looking for Powell to go in motion. Looks left. Lobs it high for man, complete.
Was forward, so it's incomplete.
A little high, right off his fingertips.
And again, they're just going to do a little receiver smash. One receiver blocks for the other one. Quick hitting play. Hope you can catch it and get upfield and pick up 4 or 5 yards, or make one man miss and go the distance.
We'll call 3rd and 8 for the Wolfpack. They're on 34-yard line. Both teams trying to get to the 500 mark overall this year, and also 500 in SEYL. Bollinger looking over the defense. Packed up. Josh Powell outside. Tries to cut up. Thrown down by Highland and company for Highland. That'll be 4th down for Ridgeview. Punting time for the Wolfpack.
And right there again, that wide play, they're just getting too much penetration on it. And it's just killing that play from before he even gets the ball in the handoff. And that's from the 3rd or 4th back we've seen that happen to tonight.
Edwin Smith back deep for Highland. The punter is McGill for Ridgeview. Standing inside his own 20-yard line. Nice hike. End over end. It's a great roll pickup by Highland. Down the sidelines, midfield 50. Into Ridgeview territory at the 42-yard line. Highland, a very heads-up player for Highland.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you like to see a guy do. Be aggressive on the punt return. He sees the coverage isn't that great. The ball's bouncing. It's a nice soft bounce. It's not a quick hard on the ground bounce. It takes a nice soft bounce for him. Fills it on the run, and when you feel it like that, it's really hard for any kind of coverage man to be in position to even make a tackle.
And Highland has the ball in excellent field position at the Ridgeview 38. Highland line up wide left. Tyler Smith wide right. Will they go to him? Hitchcock throws it up high for Smith. Incomplete. Made a diving attempt at the 20-yard line.
That's a little out of range, but he had him open right there. You had a defensive player playing inside. The outside's wide open. We'll see the pass just a little bit out of Smith's range as he can't get to it. You know, that's a tough assignment for a defensive back to have to give up inside position and guard against the fade like that.
Covers by right of Ridgeview. 2nd and 10 for Highland. Colbert, Revere in the backfield. Colbert has the ball. And here comes the flag. Couple of flags. 1:43 on the clock here in the 3rd. Highland up by 10 points over Ridgeview.
And offsides on the defense, so they'll pick up 5 more yards. And
That's why we were moving. They were outside. 2nd and 5 for Highland.
I think this is a series right here. If you're Highland, you really want to put 7 more points, 6 more points, or 3 or 7 more points on the board, because you know that the offense for Ridgeview is not a team's going to score fast, theoretically, you know, and have to grind some clock out. So
Called 2nd and 5 for the Scotsman. Colbert off the right side and driven down for a gain of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 3 on Nellis. And on another tackle for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, we've called his name out quite a few times tonight, and he's done a good job for that linebacker position of really wrapping up these running backs.
And George Rubio, number 78 for Ridgeview. They call 3rd and 4 for Highland. A Scotsman.
There's no safety in the backfield right now.
It's Ridgeview 32. Hitchcock rolling to his right. The push from the backside. Looking downfield. Throws it into the end zone. Touchdown Highland. Wide open. Jordan Busby, number 1.
And that could be the play right there that really turns out the lights on the Wolfpack. But right there was no safety in the backfield. Once Hitchcock did the move to get outside and buy himself some time, You're really asking any defensive back on any level too much to do without any help up top. And as he rolled out, some players kind of came off their man. There's a player wide open, touchdown.
Well, the defense has to be so aware of either Headland or Smith, and Busby kind of sneaks behind them. Got a couple of nice receptions tonight. This is the bigger of the two, the TD. Tyler Smith with the PAT. Line drives it. It's good. He has quite a leg. 1 minute to play here in the third. Highland 24, Ridgeview 7.
And here you see Hitchcock. He gets outside. They gambled and got some pressure. They just didn't make the play. He bought himself some time. As he rolled over, people tend to come up, and there's a man wide open. Touchdown.
Nice play by Hitchcock to roll out. Beautiful pass on the run. Tight spiral. And an excellent play by Busby to get open and make the reception.
Yeah, and we've seen Busby. He made a crucial play on defense against Powell, knocking the ball away earlier, right before the half. So he's made two big plays for the Scotsmen tonight on offense and defense.
Well, just like that, the Highland offense getting in gear, getting warmed up here. We had a 10-7 game at the half, and now they've scored twice here in the third. Like we said, they can score very quickly.
Yeah, and the Ridgeview defense, again, the running game sets it up because you get second and short. You got to worry about the running game. Also, they spread it out, and you had to kind of make a gamble. They gambled. They came off the edge. They missed the tackle in the backfield. He bought some time. He's a good athlete. Made a good play, and Ridgeview gambled and they lost.
Number 5.
So Hitchcock has a touchdown running and also one throwing. Actually has two throwing tonight. Got a couple of scores for Highland this quarter. Tyler Smith kicks it fairly deep to Powell, the 5-yard line at the middle, to the 20. 30-yard line, breaks a couple of tackles, nice spin move to the 40. And driving tacklers to the 45. Josh Powell, number 5.
And now you see why they were squib kicking the ball earlier, not just kicking it straight off to him. Right, he gets it. He does a good job of getting upfield and uses his blockers. And then right here, he just uses his own athletic ability right there, spins in the hole, straight up to another guy, and then picks up some more positive yardage.
They definitely don't want to go down. First and 10 for the Wolfpack. They're on 43. Daniel Johnson across midfield to the 45. And he should have the first down for the Wolfpack as the third quarter is coming to a conclusion. 24-7 in favor of Highland at Highland High School.
And that's been their most successful play tonight, is that little inside in between the tackles where they fake the pitch and then he comes underneath and cuts it up, and they found a little soft spot in there. But now, time and again, they get away from it, try to go outside and just see the defense is honest, and they come up short against the penetration from the Scotsmen.
First down for the Wolfpack. At the 46-yard line in Highland territory. Ridgeview needs a score here to get back to this ball game. Now the clock running again. Bollinger and Company at the Highland 46. Josh Powell motion. Bollinger. Drop back. Throws it over the middle. Complete. To Hill right. It'll be a touchdown for Ridgeview. Nice post and reception by Wright at the 20. He takes it all the way.
And he's the other guy that I alluded to that has the ability to make a big play. And really was a beautiful pass by the quarterback, put it on target. But you see Wright's speed to be able to blow by the defender once he caught it. He just separates. And not only do they need to score, but they score quick. And that's what they're not used to doing. That's what they had to do, and they did it. That puts them back within 10 points. They can get the PAT. And if the defense come out, they score quick again, puts them right back in this ball game.
All of a sudden, this ball game is becoming an offensive show, especially here in the third. Highland scoring twice, Ridgeview once, after a 10-7 first half. The kick is blocked. And we have a 24-13 ball game. So Highland has an 11-point lead with 11.8 seconds left in the third.
And right here, he just does a good job of 5 steps, gets back, pops up and throws it. It's the timing route. Hits Harold right there, and you can see Harold's speed as he just leaves the defenders.
And he says goodbye.
And now Buzzy's made a great play on special teams. He blocked the PAT, so he's having an all-around game. And see Harold right there. Gonna celebrate with his teammate. That's Powell. But those two athletes right there do have the ability to make some plays for Ridgeview. So if Ridgeview can find a way to get them the ball, they did that time in open field. They can score quick if they do that. But they can't afford now to grind out like they have been. They don't. The time clock is just against them now, and it's going to this fourth quarter.
Good block by the offensive line to give Bollinger time to throw. He stepped up very well and hit right with a perfect pass, and of course the score. Mascarenas, kickoff man for Ridgeview. Taken by Tyler Smith, 20-yard line to the 30. Dances his way to about the 30-yard line, and then driven down by a host of Wolfpack. Here late in the third quarter from Highland High School. Homecoming for the Scots, and they like to come away with a victory tonight. Of a very pesky Ridgeview Wolfpack team.
Yeah, now this defense has to step up and make some plays and not give up any more points to give the offense a chance to possibly pull out a win tonight.
This should be the last play of the third. Hitchcock to throw, and the pass complete to Rivera, and down at the 37-yard line. After 3, we have Highland 24, Ridgeview 13. You are watching the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNN SI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
They start the fourth quarter of play.
Check out the savings. Check out the selection. At Golden State Motors, we haven't reached our goal until you drive away with the deal of the millennium.
From Golden State Motors, the #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, trucks, and SUVs with new arrivals daily.
We'll slam the competition.
Corner of Golden State and M, Golden State Motors.
The all-new X96.5 blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
And we begin the fourth quarter of action. Hitchcock over the middle to Tyler Smith. A short reception to the 40-yard line. Highland 24, Ridgeview 13.
And right there, Harold Wright did an excellent job of reading the little quick hit route. Came down real quick on him and stopped him short of the first down, 3rd and 2. Big third down right here for the Wolfpack as they can get a stop right here and force a punt. And give their offense another chance to put some points on the board and get back and get the game within.
3 touchdowns scored in the third. Culver's the ball carrier. And it depends on the spot. Looks like he might have a first down for a Highland. Yes, he does. 1st and 10 for the Scotsman at their own 43-yard line.
You know, and if you're Highland, like to see this clock keep running out and ticking away, and just pick up some first downs and put one more touchdown for some insurance on the board.
Hitchcock at a backfield hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off by number 3 for Ridgeview. And that'll be Chris Clark.
And right here, once again, they get pressure. And when he's been under pressure, he hasn't made a lot of good throws. And right there, that wasn't one of them. It was almost picked off, and that would have been big trouble if that one picked off as well.
Up front for the Scotsman, Mike Moreland, David Poland, Chris Williams, Chris Niswonger, and David Howarth. Hitchcock at QB, 2nd and 10. Option pitch. Number 10, Colbert, to about the 45.
Nelson now is out there again on that tackle. I mean, he's doing a good job when he's on Colbert like that of making the play. And like I said, he's done an excellent job from the linebacker position making tackles tonight.
Both teams really picked up the pace here in the second half. At Highland front the right side at 3rd and 7. Thrown 45. Hitchcock. Sprint out right. Fires it complete to Tyler Smith. First down. To about the Ridgeview 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Scotsman. Tyler Smith.
You know, and that was really a well-designed play right there. You know, the way they're playing is really hard to take away all those receivers, because when Colbert came out of the backfield, they've thrown it so many times, everybody kind of flew out there and forgot about the receivers as they went in for a slant and picked up a first down.
Watch out, Hitchcock to the top passer in the area, and Tyler Smith, the top receiver. They're hooking up now. Colbert on the quick opener. And again of about 2 yards to the 41-yard line in Ridgeview territory. One thing I like about Highland's offense, they can throw it deep or short to Tyler Smith.
You know, and again, he throws to all the different receivers. We've seen all, you know, Busby caught one. I mean, the whole receiving corps, both backs catch it. Highland catches it. Smith catches it. So you really just can't take away one player. Then they spread out like this, and they get you playing man-to-man or some kind of zone is going to be soft, and they're going to find a running room, or they're going to hit a passing play against you.
Hitchcock throw, looking for Headland on the left side. Off his fingertips, he tried to come back and make the catch against double coverage.
Yeah, on that time he made a poor decision on which receiver to go to. Once he saw the white jerseys, he should have came off of that read and looked for the other players.
Yeah, 3 receivers off to the right side, through to the 1 receiver, double covered.
And right there,
Headland.
And this time the safety does come over and makes a good play and knocking the ball away from Headland. We saw earlier that it was a reception by Headland on the same type of play.
Mascarenas, number 2, coming over there. Now he's lined up on the left side, starting Tyler Smith. Gives up a lot in size. The rush on Hitchcock, rolling to his right, midfield, throws it. Knocked away by Powell at the last minute. He saved what could have been a first down for Highland.
Yeah, he did. And what you saw right there, too, was the pressure that got to him. When he's been under pressure, he has not been able to make good decisions and good crisp passes. And right there, Powell came down from a safe position that it was supposed to do and knocked the ball away and called the 4th down play. And it's, you know, you say should be a punt. You never know. We've seen this year. We've seen a lot of people do some things this year that I don't think you and I would have done. But and they pulled off some of them. So that's why they coach and we don't.
That's right. Rivera was the intended receiver for Highland. And Jacob Thomas will be punting for the Scotsman from midfield. Kicks it away from Powell. That stays in bounds. It'll be down at the 9-yard line by the Scotsman. So nice punt by Thomas. 9:09 to play in the ball game. Highland 24, Ridgeview 13.
You know, and once again, Ridgeview's offense to be more of an in-gear, pushing the issue of offense. They don't have the time and luxury to do these sustained drives, because if they do, they will use up the majority of this clock and may not leave themselves enough time for them to capitalize if the defense does play well, if they can score on this series right here. But they have to get a score right here.
Okay, Bollinger and company coming out there from their own 9-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Harold Wright, Josh Powell in the offensive backfield with Grant Bollinger. Powell, the ball carrier, breaks to the outside 15 and thrown down to the 16-yard line. Josh Powell by 31, Derek Smith for Highland.
That's a good little run right there, and that's the run that they've had the most success, just turning right back up, following the quarterback. You know, and we don't know exactly how many yards that player is getting, but I would guess around getting about 5 or 6 yards a pop on that play, on the average.
Smith, Busby, Thomas, Aldretti, Niswanger, Macy, Elms, Headland, Toon, Laura, and St. Santiago on defense. For Highland, the ball at the fingertips of Josh Powell at the 35-yard line. He knows he could have had it.
And he had it in his hands on that one, and defensive player makes a good play right here in his hands. Actually, he just drops it right there, just a little bit out of extension.
Third down, 3rd and 3 for Ridgeview. At their own 21-yard line. Powell, man, out of the game for the Wolfpack. Bollinger at QB. Pitch back to number 2 for the Wolfpack. Mascarenas. And he has a first down for the Wolfpack. At the 20-yard line. 24-13 in favor of Highland. 8:22 on the clock here in the 4th. Yep. Will it be a homecoming celebration for the Scotsmen?
Well, if the Wolfpack fans have anything to say about the team, it won't be, but we'll find out in about 8 minutes.
The Wolfpack trying to corner the Scotsmen tonight at Highland High Stadium. Bollinger to throw, sets up. Falls behind the air from man, falls down. Got a pass almost picked off by Busby. It went off his fingertips.
Yeah, because we had the...
Should have had a pick.
Yeah, both players kind of got tangled up in the feet, and the Ridgeview player fell down, and Busby almost had the interception.
But almost don't count.
Nope, not in this game.
Not even for the New York Mets. All those one-run games that went against them. No, you think about a lot of sports are games of inches.
Yep.
2nd and 10 for Ridgeview. Man in motion. Bollinger to the pass out to Powell. They lose one tackler to about the 25-yard line. Could not break that one. Derek Smith has done a great job for Highland defensively tonight. 3rd and 4 for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of tackles, and that's really, for this against this offense, that's bad news. That means he's making tackles downfield on some running backs who are running the ball, but he's also been in some passing plays. But a lot of the time we call his name, there's been on those runs inside where they've gotten 8 or 9 yards.
Derek Smith and Tyler Smith, 2 prominent players for Highland. Bollinger rolling to his left, and a heavy pressure throws it complete. The clock number 3 across the 35, and driven back.
You know, and Bollinger really made a tough pass play, rolling to his left, being a right-handed quarterback.
The toughest pass, I think.
You know, right here we'll see him rolling. You see he's trying to get his body square to throw the ball. Finds his 3rd read right here, possibly. Picks up the first down.
Nice catch by Clark.
Ridgeview offense keeps going, but again, they don't have the time really to run an offense like that. They need to get some plays going downfield and have them quick. Get some quick passes, get out of bounds, stop the clock, because right now the clock is not their friend.
Busby with attack for Highland. Jordan Busby, 1st and 10 for Ridgeview. Bollinger. The throw over the middle. Almost completed to Josh Powell. That almost intercepted by Highland. That ball was up for grabs at the 40-yard line. Josh slowly getting up.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulder's bothering when he's coming up.
Just a great hand from the Ridgeview and Highland High faithful.
Right here, the ball's tossed up. And he goes for this one very aggressively. And maybe they hit right there when they both players dove for the ball, but he almost pulled that away right there and made a big-time reception against, it would have been a big play for his team.
2nd down, 2nd and 10 for the Wolfpack at their own 35-yard line. 24-13 in favor of Highland. Man in motion. Bollinger rolling to his right. Lost it high downfield for right. He's got it. First down for the Wolfpack inside the Highland 30-yard line. Number 9 with a great reception.
And again, you see Harold Wright. His speed, he really is too fast for the secondary players back there. We've seen him get open again.
Almost too fast for the ball.
Yeah, the ball right here, just going from a post on the backside, takes a step, sets up, pops it. And you're going to see Harold Wright do a good job of turning around, catching the ball, and didn't try to run without it, and secured the catch and picked up a big play.
He's become a prime receiver for Ridgeview here in the second half. Harold Wright, 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Man in motion. Bowling to the throw. Not too much pressure on him. Throws it high and complete. Intended for Wright. Going across the middle. There's been some quarterback hurries, but has there been a sack on either quarterback in this game today?
Not that I can recall that we've seen. You know, now one way I like to see them run now, they set up with that post pass. You've seen the safety overreact. If you ran the other outside receiver short and just ran right in on the post and send him back out to the corner, he'll be wide open.
We'll see what's up. 5:57 on the clock. 2nd and 10. Josh Powell motion back in the game. Bollinger looking to his right. Fakes it. The pass complete to man. Tries to cut inside, and Highland is there. Powell was going deep.
Yeah, the way they're setting up
to the
for
short man.
Look like they're setting up for like a double pass or something
Yeah.
right there. So there's a real, slow development for a quick hitter to a receiver. But, he's not going to pass, but, to take that long to hit that quick, usually it's a real quick throw. It's not that long of a hesitation.
3rd and 9 for Ridgeview at the Highland 27-yard line. The clock is ticking. Powell in motion. Bollinger rolling to his left. Pressure by Headland. And a pass complete. Looks to be a 1st down for Ridgeview to number 10. Nice play. And that's to Matt Estrada, playing some offense.
But Bollinger's made really 2 good throws rolling to his weak side, his left side. And
with pressure on him, too.
On big 3rd down plays, and he's come through and converted. You'll see right now he's rolling to his left, has some pressure, turns and gets rid of the ball, and really right on the money right there.
It was beautiful. The toughest pass for a right-handed quarterback. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Inside the Highland 20. Bollinger rolling to his right. Looking for Powell in the end zone. Lost it high and out of bounds.
Right there, he's going to right and does a good job. He doesn't force it in there. Throws it out of bounds. The clock stops.
Well, this game was really picked up offensively in the final 2 quarters. We had a 10-7 game at the half.
We also, Ridgeview shows that they opened it up and that they have some plays they can go to. It's just their consistency with their passing game that seems to be where they're struggling at. But they ran the ball real well, but they were forced to come out of that running game really because of how many points they were down and how much time on the clock.
Yeah, they're most likely passing more than they would like to. Play action. And Bollinger throws it high in the air, incomplete, intended for Clark. He has to unload. Highland has been pressuring him more on this last drive. He has made some great throws rolling to his left. They'll call 3rd and 10 for the Wolfpack at the Highland 16-yard line. They definitely have to score a touchdown, then onside kick and recover again. So a lot of things have to happen for Ridgeview to win this ball game.
But they need to score very quick. This drive has been the whole quarter basically.
It's amazing.
And that's what they couldn't afford to do really, is take this long to score.
Man in motion for Ridgeview. Bollinger with a long count. Looking towards the end zone, throws it, picked off. Is that a lineman? Number 61 takes it across the 15-yard line.
Well, right there, that was just a great adjustment by the Highland defense. You see what they did? They pretty much just surrounded the post pattern.
Chris Niswanker, a lineman 61 with the INT, and now a late flag thrown by the officials.
And here you go, he's going to drop back, throws the ball off his back foot to the middle of the field, going for Powell. And there you see your lineman sitting there. And
that catches the ball like Derek Jeter.
And then turns it upfield, and that pretty much is going to be the ball game. They might be throwing a flag, calling a late hit on Powell, who knows. or a celebration against, looks like he's going against Highland. So
Highland had an interesting celebration after the
first touchdown.
tackle. Right there.
Oh, right on that
I
one
don't know
too?
if you saw it there.
No, I
you
missed
have to
that
show
one.
it again.
It wasn't the bomb again, was it?
No, it was something else. The bomb. Right there off the left side, pounding down as it gets to about the 4-yard line. Clock at 4:25. Ridgeview needs that ball back.
Yeah, they need the ball back, but they had to score quick on that series. They couldn't afford to really just drive the ball slow methodically like that without, you know, in a hurry. They weren't in a hurry. They were taking a long time with the play calling. They weren't on the line.
They need to rip the ball loose from the ball carrier.
They need a major disaster from Highland right now. They need an interception, which if the ball even goes in the air, or like you said, they need to just attack the ball now and just abandon the regular tackle and just go for strips.
Hitchcock, the ball given up the middle. I think the Colbert to the 10-yard line. I call it second down for Highland. They're in the shadows of their own end zone and have a 24-13 lead over Ridgeview. 3rd and 6 for the Scotsmen as they try to celebrate homecoming with a victory. You want to win homecoming games. Sometimes it works against you. You know, all the hoopla during the week.
Yeah.
Not terribly focused. Hitchcock looking to the right. The ball passed to Tyler Smith. Has a reception on the first down. Trying to stay in bounds when they drive him out at the 30-yard line.
You know, Tyler Smith did a great job of coming back on the ball. Harold Wright really had him covered, but the ball was thrown behind, and the receiver puts on the air brakes, and the defensive back goes by kind of like Top Gun when Tom Cruise pulls up and makes the catch. As we'll see right here, ball thrown behind. You see Harold come back right there. The only thing that I would say Smith should have done was just fall down right here and keep the clock rolling. You know.
Well, the clock is rolling. 2:45. We're playing a ball game.
Unless they just told me maybe he was in. They called it whistle dead.
Colbert blasts his way off the right side to about the 34-yard line. Somebody for Ridgeview came flying out of there. Number 50 for the Wolfpack. Yeah, Isaac, Jamie, or Jaime.
You gotta be careful by those piles. Offensive linemen like to fly around those piles and hit defensive players, just like the safety like to come up and hit offensive linemen a lot of times. You'll see like in pro games at college. You'll see a lot of secondary players come up and just try to get a easy shot right before the whistle blows on the lineman, standing around a pile.
2nd and 7 for the Scotsmen. They lead by 11 over Ridgeview. They're taking their time. Hitchcock with 3 receivers wide to the left. Is he going to throw in a situation? Yes, he is. He throws it incomplete. Headed went inside, and the pass went outside.
Yep, and somebody fell, and that was almost a disaster. Ridgeview needed it right there.
Could have had a pick by Ridgeview and maybe 6.
Yeah, with 1:53 left, I would just pretty much be content to put the ball on the ground, and if we punt, we punt, and you can take your chances on scoring on me going 80 yards or so.
Chris Reyes was the closest man to the ball. Number 34 for the Wolfpack. And that, of course, stops the clock. 3rd down, 6. Busby, wide right for the Wolfpack. On D, Hitchcock rolling to his right. Here comes the pressure, throws it incomplete to Tyler Smith. Right through his hands, and 4th down.
And the reason why I'm saying that, because if you'd have ran the ball 2 times, there would be less than a minute left to play in the game. Now you kick it, they have 2 timeouts, they can get a couple big plays. Who knows what happened? You see the pressure again, and just turns upfield, doesn't watch the ball all the way into the catch. And
try to run with the ball before it caught it.
And every receiver, every level does it. Jerry Rice.
He doesn't miss too many. He has about 55 receptions this year, so.
You know, but all receivers will do that from time to time. You just get a little anxious. You want to pick up a 1st down, and you just move a little bit too fast, and you forget what's important.
Powell and Manor deep for Ridgeview. Scanning at their own 30-yard line with 1:47 to play in a ball game. Line drive punt. Goes out of bounds at the Wolfpack 35-yard line. That ball almost hit Mascarenas for Ridgeview. Almost hit him on the leg. So Highland could have used more time off that clock.
Yeah,
but it threw on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, that was poor clock management on that series right there. But that's one of the few mistakes we've seen them do offensively tonight. Like I said, they've done a good job, really just taking whatever Ridgeview's defense is giving them. You know, and they've been able to put 24 points on against a defense that really has played pretty good tonight for Ridgeview. They haven't, you know, given up the big back-breaking plays.
The Wolfpack down by 11 the Highlands with the ball thrown on 35-yard line. And Bollinger, straight drop back. Throws it over the middle. Almost picked off again by Niswanger. He almost had a second pick tonight. Dropping back in pass coverage. Number 61. He wants to take it all the way back.
Here it is again over the middle. And he almost picks that one. Matter of fact, his own man knocks it away from him. Like Macy comes and knocks the ball away from him.
2nd and 10 for Ridgeview. He's playing linebacker now, back in coverage. Long pass, overthrown to right, covered by Busby. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Ridgeview.
See, this is a situation in a 2-minute drill you would see if a team's playing that far off. You just run 10 yards out, catch the ball, step out of bounds. 10 yards out, catch the ball, step out of bounds, and make them decide to come up and challenge you. If they're not going to challenge you, you can march it all the way down, usually around 20 to 15-yard line before they'll really just start to suck up on you.
Instead of just throwing it deep.
Yeah, because right now he's so far on top and he's running out, you're not going to beat him deep.
3rd and 10 for the Wolfpack. They're on 35-yard line. Grant Bollinger lobs it high in the air for man, complete on the far side. Driven down immediately, and he should have the first down for the Wolfpack. Thomas with attack for Highland.
And that's exactly what I was talking about right there. You just run the out, and then you catch the ball, and you get out of bounds. You know, right now, they're saying he didn't get out of bounds, and they're running the clock.
He didn't. Wow.
You know, I thought Smith got out of bounds, and maybe the clock doesn't stop when you're out of bounds. It should.
Right, wide left for Ridgeview. Bollinger at QB. Straight drop back from the 40-yard line. Long pass to man, tipped away at the last moment. Thomas with a beautiful tip away by Highland. Man, the intended receiver.
Yes, right there. We'll see the ball coming down here, and Thomas has come over the top and knock it away. Great play.
.9 seconds left to play in a ball game. Ridgeview down by 11. And they have 2nd and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Okay, Bollinger to throw. Here comes the pressure. The pass complete to Clark. Not to Clark. Might have a first down to Mascarenas for Ridgeview.
And there's a flag on there too, personal foul, roughing the passer. So they'll tack on 15 more yards to that spot.
Wow. So Highland attacking the quarterback Bollinger very aggressively. Back-to-back penalties against the Scotsman. And Ridgeview still alive at the Highland 28-yard line. 47 seconds left in the ball game. Bollinger looking to his left. Pressure from both sides. He will run 25. Breaks to the outside 20. A spin move to the 15.
You know, they have timeouts. They should be calling them.
Looks to be another first down for Ridgeview. Bollinger, Powell, Johnson, Strata, Clark, Ponder, McCormick, Carmelo, Hines, O'Toole, and Rubio made up the offense for Ridgeview tonight against the Scotsman.
Here's Bowling. He's just going to drop back. Everybody's covered. He breaks it up the middle of the field, picks up some yardage. Gets inside the red zone there. They get a timeout, and they have about 24 seconds to try to get a score and then get an onside kick and maybe a...
There's Niswanger again, 61 for Highland with a tackle. He had an interception earlier in the ball game and almost had another one. Playing linebacker. If you'd like a copy of tonight's game or any program produced by Time Warner, you can call us during regular business hours at 322-1941, 322-1941.
You know, this is the kind of offense I thought that they needed to come to out when they came in the fourth quarter because their normal offense cannot push the ball up the field fast enough to score.
Bollinger, straight drop back. Off behind, the air to the right side, incomplete. Thomas hit Powell right as the ball was thrown about the 5-yard line. Called 2nd and 10 for Ridgeview. The 8th game of the regular season. Highland trying to make it 4-4 and 1-1 in the league. Bollinger, right, wide left for Ridgeview. Bollinger looking in that direction, flush out of the pocket. Here comes the pressure, lost it high to right. Picked off! It will be taking the distance most likely by Highland. 40, 30, 20, 10. It is a touchdown, Scotsman.
And the game.
Returned by number 3, J.D. Macy. J.D. Macy. They were trying to hit right. He was playing off of him, cut in front of the ball and took it that distance. He went all the way. Yeah, baby.
And that caps off a homecoming night that they won't forget, those young men.
That's it. The final play of the game. J.D. Macy celebrates homecoming with a huge play for the Scotsman. And our final score, Highland 30, Ridgeview 13. What a finish.
We can't top that.
I certainly can't. Great ball game.
It was, you know, it really was a good ball game. Both teams played tough. Ridgeview kids have nothing to hang their heads about. They played a very tough and good ball game. The Highland team just did what they needed to do to win and made the big plays. The 3 big plays really were the difference.
Who most impressed you on the Ridgeview team tonight?
I think the Ridgeview team, I already knew coming in about Powell. But Harold Wright really impressed me with his ability to beat people deep and really just lead defenders.
And how about the Highland High Scotsman?
Highland High Scotsman, I like the way the running backs really teamed up together, not only running the ball, but catching the ball in the backfield and keeping the Ridgeview defense honest.
And we were impressed with the pass-catching ability of Tyler Smith and Headland and some of the other guys, Busby.
And, you know, we rarely see teams that pass the ball as well as they do, and it really was a good, exciting high school football game.
Highland's now 4-4, 1-1 in the Southeastern Central League. Ridgeview falls to 3-5 and 0-2. For Brian Adams, I'm Mark Heffernan. Good night from Highland High School. You've been watching the Prep Football Game of the Week right here on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 31. We are Digital Cable 106.
It's pretty simple, really. You want to advertise your business on TV.